All right, let's dive into this. We're talking about airport planning engineer interview prep today.
Okay.
You got that big interview coming up, and we're here to help you get ready for it.
That's right.
We've got some really great resources from RoleCatcher to kind of guide us.
Yeah.
Career guides, sample interview questions, all that good stuff.
It's a really cool field. It blends engineering with this global perspective. I mean, think about it. You're shaping the future of travel.
Wow, yeah.
Connecting people and cultures and making sure that our airports are efficient and sustainable.
Yeah, and it's not just about runways and terminals.
Right.
It's about the entire passenger experience.
Yeah.
The environmental impact, the dance between all the different stakeholders involved.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into these interview questions.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's got a whole bunch of them compiled.
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack the most common ones.
Okay.
Talk about how to answer them and even anticipate those tricky follow-up questions.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, yeah, right?
It can really be a secret weapon in this whole process.
Yeah.
And we'll give you tips on how to use their platform to tailor your answers and get that extra edge.
Okay, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
First up,
all right,
the classic, what inspired you to pursue a career in airport planning engineering?
Yeah.
It seems so simple, but it's a real chance to shine here.
Yeah, it's all about showing off your passion and not just saying, I love airplanes or something. Like, dig deeper.
Yeah.
What really sparked your interest in this?
Yeah.
Was it, I don't know, like a family trip that made you just see like, wow, how complex these airports are?
Yeah.
Or maybe a school project where you realize like the impact of efficient design.
Right.
Or maybe you were that kid who built these huge, elaborate Lego airports.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Connecting those personal experiences to the bigger picture.
Right, yeah.
And here's where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Okay.
Their platform analyzes job descriptions and picks out those keywords.
Yeah.
So if the job is really emphasizing sustainability, you can kind of weave that into your answer, showing that you're aligned with their values.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're showing them you did your homework and you're really interested in their airport.
Right.
And the challenges that they face.
Let's say they follow up and they're like, okay,
Okay.
you're really passionate about airports, but like, what are the key skills and qualities that an airport planning engineer should have?
Ooh, that's a little tougher.
Yeah.
It's tempting to just list off those technical skills.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're looking for something more.
Right. This is your time to show that you're not just an engineer. You're like a well-rounded problem solver.
Right.
You've got critical thinking skills, communication, collaboration, project management.
Yeah.
These are so essential in this field where you're dealing with so many different people and complex projects.
So it's about showcasing those soft skills that really make you a great team member.
Yeah.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you figure out which skills to really emphasize.
Right, based on what the job actually requires.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Now let's move on to a question that might be a little intimidating.
Okay.
What are some of the biggest challenges facing airport planning engineers today?
Yeah, this is a real brain teaser.
It is.
But it's also a chance to show them, you're plugged into the industry.
Right.
You're aware of the trends.
Yeah.
You're thinking critically about, like, the future of aviation.
This is where, some deeper knowledge of airport planning comes in.
Right.
You could talk about how we need more sustainable infrastructure. How do we balance the fact that we need more passengers? But we also have to think about the environment. How do we incorporate renewable energy?
Right.
And make sure the airport's carbon footprint is as small as possible.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
And what about these new technologies like automation and AI that are, completely changing the way airports operate?
Yeah, those are great points.
You'd even talk about the challenges of adapting to all the new security regulations or even the difficulties of, like, figuring out how to incorporate drones into airspace management.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
So it's about showing them that you're not just, thinking about the textbook.
Right.
You're thinking about the real world.
Yeah.
And those challenges that the industry's facing.
And don't be afraid to, share your own ideas or solutions. It shows you're proactive and eager to contribute.
I like that.
Okay, now let's get into some of the specifics of airport planning with this question. Can you describe your experience with airport master planning?
Okay, this one seems pretty specific. What if I've never actually, led a major airport master plan.
It's okay.
Okay.
Even if your experience is mostly from, schoolwork or smaller projects.
Right.
You can still show that you understand the process.
Okay.
Think about the steps involved.
Yeah.
You've got feasibility studies.
Right.
You've got environmental impact assessments,
Right.
runway and terminal capacity analysis, stakeholder engagement, all of that.
Okay, so it's about like breaking it down
Yeah.
and then highlighting your contributions,
Right.
even if it was part of a team.
Exactly. And here's a pro tip.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI
Yeah.
can take a look at your past experience and suggest ways to frame it
Okay.
so that it lines up with
Yeah.
what this specific job is
Right.
looking for.
That's so helpful. It's like having a personal career coach
It is.
in your pocket.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
Talk about sustainability, which is becoming so important
Right.
in airport planning.
Mm-hmm.
How would you answer this question?
Okay.
How do you ensure that airport infrastructure
Okay.
is sustainable and environmentally responsible?
This is a big one for me.
Yeah.
I love eco-conscious design.
All right.
What are some key points to hit?
Well, you could talk about, what materials are being used.
Yeah.
Sustainable, locally sourced materials whenever possible.
Mm-hmm.
Energy efficiency is another huge one.
Right.
Solar panels,
Mm-hmm.
green roofs,
Yeah.
geothermal heating and cooling systems.
Ooh, those are cool.
Yeah.
What about things like waste management
Yeah.
and minimizing noise and air pollution?
Absolutely. That's crucial for the communities around the airport.
Right, of course. Yeah.
You can even mention things like LED certification
Okay.
or other sustainability framework that really show a commitment to environmentally responsible design.
And again, RoleCatcher can help tailor that answer
Yeah.
by looking for those keywords in the job description.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Now let's tackle a question that's all about diplomacy
Okay.
and collaboration.
Yeah.
How do you balance the needs of all the different stakeholders
Right.
when you're developing these big infrastructure projects?
This is interesting.
It is.
Because you've got so many different people involved in airport planning.
Right. You've got the airlines, you've got the passengers, the government agencies,
Right.
local communities,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't always agree.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is your chance to show off your communication skills,
Okay.
your negotiation skills,
Mhm.
your ability to listen to everyone and find solutions that work for everybody.
So it's about highlighting those times when you were able to navigate those competing priorities and find some common ground.
Exactly. Think about some examples from your past.
Right.
Maybe a school project where you had to work with people who had different ideas.
Okay.
Or a volunteer experience where you
Yeah.
had to negotiate with different groups.
And even if I don't have direct experience
Right.
with airport stakeholders, I can still talk about the principles of good communication and collaboration.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And again, RoleCatcher can look at your experiences and suggest ways to present them
Okay.
to really highlight your ability to manage those relationships.
This is gold. I'm feeling so much more confident already.
I'm glad.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to a question.
Okay.
That's all about staying ahead of the curve.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date
Okay.
on all the latest trends and innovations in airport planning engineering?
Ah, the lifelong learner question.
Yes.
I love this one.
Yeah.
This is where I get to nerd out about all the cool stuff
I know.
happening in aviation.
This is where you show that you're curious, you're engaged.
You're committed to professional development.
Yeah.
You could talk about some of the publications you follow, like Airport World or the Journal of Airport Management.
Okay.
What about professional organizations?
Yeah.
Then
The
what-
American Society of Civil Engineers and the Airport Consultants Council. They've got great resources and networking opportunities.
Exactly. And what about conferences and webinars?
Right.
Those are great ways to keep up with what's happening
Yeah.
and meet other people in the field.
And then there's always online resources,
Yeah.
research databases, things like that.
Right. And here's where RoleCatcher can really take you to the next level.
Okay.
Their AI can actually look at your past experience and suggest industry trends to mention.
Wow.
So you're not just talking about general knowledge. You're
Yeah.
showing them you're tuned into the trends that
Yeah.
matter to them.
Right. Okay. That's smart.
All right. One more question before we take a break.
Okay. Safety is the most important thing in aviation.
Yeah.
So how should someone approach this question?
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with airport security and safety regulations?
Okay.
This is where you show them you understand all the regulations,
Okay.
FAA standards, ICAO guidelines,
Right.
anything that's relevant to that particular airport or region that you're applying for.
And even if my experience is mostly like from coursework,
Yeah.
I can still talk about how I've applied those principles.
Absolutely.
Like projects and design exercises.
Right. And don't forget about real-world examples.
Okay.
Have you ever just observed security procedures at an airport and thought, could we do this better?
Yeah.
Or have you read about, a recent incident and thought about how it could have been prevented?
Ooh, those are good points.
Yeah.
So it's about showing that you're not just memorizing the rules.
Right.
You're actually thinking about how they play out in the real world.
Yeah. And that's the kind of critical thinking that will really impress interviewers.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's great advice.
Okay, so jumping back into these interview questions, this next one's kind of interesting. How do you approach the design of airport infrastructure to make sure that it's functional, AD, aesthetically pleasing?
I love this one because it's airports aren't just concrete jungles,
Right.
They're gateways to new experiences.
Yeah.
And those first impressions, they matter.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between, making sure things work well, but also creating a positive experience for the passengers.
Right.
So you could think about things like intuitive wayfinding systems, incorporating natural light and green spaces, and even thinking about the acoustics to reduce noise pollution.
That's so cool. I never even thought about the sound design of an airport.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, the ambiance.
Right. And of course, you can't forget about accessibility.
Right, of course.
Airports need to be designed for people of all abilities.
Yeah.
So everyone has a smooth and enjoyable experience. Yeah. So it's about remembering that human element throughout the design process. Yeah. Not just thinking about the technical stuff.
Right, right.
And here's a fun way to prepare for this question.
Okay.
Research some award-winning airport designs.
Okay.
And really analyze, what makes them so great?
Yeah.
What features did they include?
Yeah.
How did they find that balance between aesthetics and functionality?
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, it shows you're passionate about design and you're paying attention to what other people are doing.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit.
Okay.
Talk about staying current in this really fast-paced field.
Yeah.
How would you answer this one?
All right.
How do you stay up to date on the latest trends and innovations in airport planning engineering?
This is your time to show them you're a lifelong learner.
Right.
You could talk about, industry publications, professional organizations, conferences, webinars, all those things.
All those continuing education kind of things.
Yeah, but take it a step further.
Okay.
Talk about a specific trend you're really excited about.
Okay.
What about the rise of vertiports?
Oh, yeah.
For electric air taxis.
Right. Wow.
Or how about using biometrics for seamless passenger processing?
That is futuristic.
Yeah, those are some cool trends.
I love it.
And here's where RoleCatcher can help again.
Okay.
Their AI can analyze industry trends and suggest the ones that are most relevant to the job you're applying for.
Oh, that's so smart.
So you can really tailor your answer to what they care about.
It's all about showing that you're in the loop.
Right.
And you're thinking strategically about the future of their airport.
All right. I think we've covered most of the big interview questions.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So let's shift gears and talk about career paths.
Okay, I like this.
What kind of growth can you expect in this field?
Yeah, what are the possibilities?
Well, there's so much potential.
Okay.
You could start in an entry-level role and work your way up to leading those big projects.
Wow.
Some engineers specialize in things like security, sustainability, or operations.
Okay.
It really just depends on what you're passionate about.
Right.
What about building a portfolio?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's so important, especially as you get more experience.
Yeah.
It's a way to really show off your skills.
Yeah.
What you've accomplished. Include things like project summaries, design drawings, presentations, anything that highlights your work.
Right. So it's about documenting your work.
Yeah.
And then presenting it in a way that's informative, but also looks good.
Right.
Visually appealing.
And here's a pro tip.
Okay.
Think about presenting your work at conferences.
Ooh.
Or even writing articles for industry publications.
That's a good idea.
It's a great way to, share your knowledge, get your name out there, and build up your credibility.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay. Are you ready for the part you've been waiting for?
Yes. RoleCatcher's AI.
All right, let's talk about how it can really help you with your interview prep.
Okay, let's do it.
Their CV resume builder is awesome.
Okay.
It uses AI to tailor your application to each specific job description.
Okay.
So it analyzes those keywords, figures out what skills they're looking for, and helps you present your experience in the best possible way.
So it's not just about having a generic resume.
Right.
It's about making sure it really speaks to that specific employer.
Exactly. And their AI feedback on practice questions is a game changer.
Yeah, tell me more.
It actually analyzes your responses.
Wow.
And gives you personalized suggestions to make them even better. So you can create those really compelling and persuasive answers.
That's awesome. Wait, there's more, right?
Yes.
What about their video practice tool?
This is where the AI magic really comes in.
Okay.
You can record yourself answering those common interview questions.
Okay.
And the AI will watch it.
Wow.
Analyze your delivery, your body language.
Oh, wow.
Even your tone of voice.
That's incredible.
And it gives you feedback on how to come across as confident and authentic.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like having a personal interview coach.
It is.
But it's AI.
Exactly.
This is incredible.
It's all about giving you that edge and helping you get that dream job.
This has been so insightful.
I'm glad.
I'm learning so much.
Good.
Okay, so if we had to, sum it all up, what are the 3 key takeaways for our listeners?
Okay, here's the trifecta.
Okay.
Number 1, use all the resources out there, like RoleCatcher, to really optimize your job search.
Okay.
Number 2, never underestimate networking.
Right.
Building those genuine relationships.
Can make all the difference.
Okay, and number 3.
Practice, practice, practice.
Oh, of course.
The more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel. And that will really come through in your interviews.
That's great advice. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I have a final thought.
Okay.
For our listeners who are on this journey to become airport planning engineers, as you're prepping for these interviews, just remember the incredible impact this career has.
That's right.
You're not just designing airports. You're shaping the future of travel.
Yeah.
You're connecting people and cultures. And you're helping to create a more sustainable world.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder.
Yeah, it's about finding that intersection of passion, purpose, and expertise.
I love that.
Yeah.
When you bring all of those things together, you're unstoppable.
Speaking of unstoppable, let's talk about those certifications. I mentioned a few earlier.
But what other credentials can help boost your career?
Well, besides the CAE, the PMP, and the PE, there are also some more specialized certifications in things like airport security, sustainability, and operations.
So it's about finding the ones that align with your goals and interests.
Exactly. Do your research. Figure out what each certification requires and see which ones fit your aspirations.
Great advice. Now, what about professional development?
Yeah.
How do airport planning engineers stay on top of their game in such a fast-paced field?
Continuous learning is key. You've got to keep going to those conferences, workshops, and webinars. It's the best way to stay current on the latest technology regulations and best practices.
What about joining professional organizations?
Those are essential. Things like the American Association of Airport Executives and the Airport Consultants Council. They're amazing for networking.
Getting resources and continuing education.
So it's all about building that network.
Yeah.
And staying connected with the industry.
And don't forget about independent research.
Oh, right.
You know, staying up to date on publications, journals, online resources that can really give you a competitive edge.
Okay, I like it.
All right, let's change gears again.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the pros and cons of working as an airport planning engineer.
Yeah. What are the good things? What are the bad things?
Well, on the plus side, it's a really high-demand field.
Okay, that's good.
Great earning potential.
Okay, yeah.
And you get to work on these really exciting projects that often have a global impact.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, you're connecting people, making travel possible. You're contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Right.
But, you know, we have to acknowledge the challenges.
Okay, yeah.
It can be a demanding job. Long hours, tight deadlines.
Right. And you're always dealing with those multiple stakeholders and all those complex regulations.
Right, it's a lot to juggle.
It is, and it's a fast-paced field.
Yeah.
Things are always changing, so you have to be adaptable and able to roll with the punches.
So it's about really thinking about if those pros and cons align with your personality, your career goals.
Right. But for people who are passionate about aviation and want to make a real difference, this career can be incredibly rewarding.
Yeah. Okay.
I like it. So let's say you've aced the interview.
Yeah.
You got the job.
Ooh.
What are some tips for success in this role?
Okay, yeah. How do I actually do the job?
Well, first of all, focus on building those relationships with your colleagues and stakeholders. You know, communication and collaboration are so important.
Yeah.
What about staying organized?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, airport planning projects are complex. There are a lot of moving parts.
Right.
So you got to stay organized.
Yeah.
Prioritize tasks. Make sure you're staying on track.
And never stop learning.
Right.
Right.
The industry is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So stay curious, seek out new knowledge, be adaptable to all the changes that are happening.
Great advice. Now, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I just want to mention RoleCatcher AI one more time.
Okay.
It seems like their platform is a real game changer for job seekers.
It really is.
It's incredible.
Their resources, their AI-powered tools, their career guidance, it's all top-notch.
Right.
I highly recommend anyone who's prepping for an interview or even just figuring out their career.
Yeah.
Check them out.
It's about empowering job seekers.
Yeah.
Giving them those tools they need to succeed.
And in this job market, that can make all the difference.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about like the skills and all the prep you need to land this airport planning engineer job.
Right.
What do you actually do in this role?
Yeah.
It's not all just blueprints and spreadsheets, right?
No, definitely not. It's a really dynamic field.
Yeah.
And there are so many different kinds of projects you could be working on.
Okay.
You know, you could be expanding existing terminals to handle all the growing passenger traffic or even designing entirely new airports from scratch.
Wow, a whole new airport.
Yeah.
That sounds intense.
It is a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
You're thinking about everything, you know.
Yeah.
Runway configurations, airspace analysis, passenger flow, baggage handling.
Wow.
Making sure it's sustainable.
Right.
It's really about creating this whole ecosystem that works for everyone.
And speaking of the future,
Yeah.
what about those cutting edge projects that we're starting to see?
Right.
Like vertiports for those electric air taxis.
Yeah, it feels like we're on the verge of this whole new era of aviation.
It really does.
And airport planning engineers are going to be the ones leading the way.
Okay.
Figuring out how to incorporate these new technologies into our existing infrastructure.
So like designing vertiports
Yeah.
that connect with our current transportation system.
Exactly. Or figuring out how to manage like drone traffic
Oh, right.
in all this crowded airspace.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is.
So it sounds like there's never a dull moment in this field.
Nope. There's always something new and exciting happening.
And as you gain experience,
Yeah.
can you kind of specialize in specific areas
Oh, absolutely.
of airport planning?
Yeah, you could really focus on what interests you most.
Okay.
Some engineers love runway design and capacity analysis, making sure those airports can handle all the flights.
Okay.
Others are really into terminal planning,
Yeah.
you know, optimizing passenger flow. So everything runs smoothly.
Okay.
And of course, with this big focus on sustainability, we need engineers who are experts in green building, renewable energy, and all those environmental assessments.
Okay, so there's something for everyone.
There really is.
Whether you're into the tech, the passenger experience, or making sure things are environmentally friendly.
Yeah. And as the aviation industry keeps growing, the demand for skilled airport planning engineers, it's only going to increase.
So it's a great time to be getting into this field.
Absolutely.
It really is. Okay.
Yeah.
So for someone just starting out,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them to set themselves up for success?
First things first.
Okay.
Build a solid foundation in engineering and airport planning.
Right.
Take the right courses.
Okay.
Get involved in research projects.
Yeah.
Look for internships to get some real-world experience.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to network.
Right. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Go to those conferences.
Yeah.
Join those professional organizations. Connect with people who are already doing this work. And, of course, take advantage of all the tools out there.
Right, like RoleCatcher.
Exactly. They can really help you with everything, from your resume to practicing for those tough interview questions.
Yeah, RoleCatcher is amazing.
It really is.
Okay, so this has been a really incredible deep dive into the world of airport planning engineering.
I agree.
I feel like we've covered it all.
We have.
The skills, the responsibilities, all those exciting future trends.
Yeah, and the different career paths.
I hope our listeners are feeling inspired.
Me too.
And ready to go after their dreams in this field.
It's such a dynamic and impactful career.
It really is.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up,
okay,
I just want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Right.
Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities.
Yes.
You've got the passion, the skills, and the drive to really excel in this field.
That's right.
Go out there, ace those interviews.
Yeah.
And make your mark on the world of aviation.
Well said. Remember, the sky's the limit.
I love it.